friends, welcome back to the channel. It's Evelyn here as always, and first things first, a huge thank you to all of you for continuing to support me. Please, if you haven't done so already, hit the all important subscribe button down below, and I would love to connect with you all over on Instagram. My username is @EvelynAdore. I'd love to connect with you there and chat all about your own sewing creations. But back to this week. This week we are going to continue our journey to create your very own spring-summer wardrobe to your own measurements by creating something that I think everybody probably has at least one pair already in their wardrobe. But we're going to create the perfect 1950s inspired pair. I'm talking about jeans. Yes, I absolutely love denim, and I haven't actually got any jeans in my wardrobe currently that fit me, so this is the perfect opportunity. If you haven't created your trouser block yet, there's a link in the description box to do just that. Come on now, let's get some drafting done. Jeans, once a workwear garment, eventually came into popular fashion, becoming a staple in many of our wardrobes. After being invented in the 1800s, they took their time and are finally seen as acceptable wear for women and men. Levi's first created a range for women in 1934, known as Lady Levi's, with trendsetters like Ginger Rogers paving the way for women to wear the trousers. I love these 1950s women's jeans. A neatly tapered leg, slanted pockets, and hems that you could turn up for a casual afternoon at the beach feel. And I love how they're styled in these inspiration images. So let's create our own. The first thing I've done is trace my trouser block. So if you haven't created your own yet, there's a card above to the tutorial. Firstly, we're going to work on the legs. Come in by 3/4 of an inch on each side of the hems, making marks. Then taper lines from those marks upwards into the original pattern at approximately 3 to 4 inches below the crotch curve. Next, it's the back darts. I'm going to change these 2 darts into one single dart. Make a mark in the approximate centre between the 2 darts and create a new dart measuring the amount of both original darts along this mark like so. I'm making the length of this new dart halfway between the lengths of the original darts. For these jeans, I'm also going to create a curved waistband for a better fit. Draw a line 1.5 inches below the top of your pattern on your front and back pieces. This will create our waistband. Looking at my inspiration pictures, these jeans have a slanted front pocket, so we're going to create one on our jeans. Firstly, make a mark 1.5 inches out from the dart along the new lower waistband line. We are then going to decide how wide we want our pocket opening to be, measuring downwards from the new waistline we've created. To do so, measure the width of your hand, adding at least an inch of ease to this measurement. Then plot this measurement downwards and make a mark. Join the 2 marks together, creating the edge of your slanted pocket. Now decide how deep you want your pocket and plot this measurement down the outseam of your trouser pattern from the base of your slant pocket line, making a mark. Make sure that your pocket is not longer than your crotch seam. I used 3 inches for the depth of my pocket. Make a mark 1/2 inch outwards from the front dart. Plot a guideline from this mark running parallel to the dart leg, making this line approximately as long as our pocket depth mark. Now draw in the shape of the pocket, curving upwards to meet the depth mark like so. The front of our jeans will be formed using a front piece cut at the pocket slant, a whole pocket piece, and a pocket piece cut on the slant which forms the pocket bag. The pocket itself will then form the upper side of our jeans. Now cut out your pattern, cutting out the waistband and trouser pieces separately. Now let's finish our waistband. And these pieces are now at 100% scale, just so you can see. The wedges that we see in the centre of these pieces are our darts. I've also marked on the centre front and centre back. Cut out the dart wedges from the centre of the pieces and discard them, leaving 2 pieces each for the front and back waistbands. Grab some tape and tape the pieces together to create your front and back waistbands. And you can see the curve being created. Stick these new pieces onto some spare pattern paper, enabling you to smooth out the lines. Now join the front and back waistband pieces to create the curved waistband pattern, flipping the back piece and taping it to the front piece, effectively joining them at the side seam. Once again, use some spare pattern paper to smooth out the curves where the 2 pieces join. And here is the finished curved waistband. I have placed a fold mark at the centre front, as we will cut one of these on the fold. Remember, there's no seam allowance on these patterns, so be sure to add those as you cut out your fabric. I've also made a note at centre back to add an underlap at this edge of the pattern piece to enable us to fix our waistband closed, and I usually use 1.5 inches for this. And here is our finished pattern, our jeans front and back, our pocket and pocket bag, and our curved waistband. Begin by pinning the pocket bag to the front piece of the jeans, right sides together along the slanted edge, and sew in place. Over on your machine, use a straight stitch on your jeans today. The denim that I'm using is quite lightweight, but I have changed out my regular sewing machine needle for a smaller sized denim needle. Using the right needle for your projects makes a huge difference, and be sure to change your needles every other project to ensure that they stay sharp and you don't get any skipped stitches. Still at the machine, push the seam allowances to the pocket bag and understitch them in place onto the pocket bag approximately 1/8 of an inch from the seam. This will give you a wonderfully clean edge when the pocket is constructed. Turn the pocket bag to the inside of the garment like so, and pin it in place at the waistline and side seams. Take your whole pocket piece and pin it right sides together to the pocket bag all around the curved edge. Sew the pocket bag to the pocket all the way around this curved edge only, creating your pocket. Now that your pocket is sewn, pin it in place along the waistline and side seams. Here I am sewing the darts in my front and back jean pieces. Usually this is the first thing that I do, which is actually a lot easier, but I just got so excited about those pockets as usual. Darts sewn, I then used a long stitch length to baste the pocket in place along the waistline and side seams, doing so within the seam allowance at 1/4 inch instead of the full 1/2 inch seam allowance, so that these stitches won't be seen on my final garment. Pairing each front piece with a back piece, wrong sides together, pin all along the inside and outside leg seams, forming the 2 legs of your jeans. I'm going to use French seams on these jeans so that if I want to roll up the hems, they'll have a lovely neat finish inside. To do so, we place the pieces wrong sides together first and stitch them together using half of our seam allowance. And here I am sewing those seams with the pieces wrong sides together at 1/4 inch. Taking your scissors, trim down the seam allowances. This will make it easier to turn and pin the pieces right sides together when we create our French seams. It also helps to ensure that we catch all of those raw edges inside. When you've finished trimming the seam allowances, turn your trouser legs inside out so that the right sides of the pieces are facing. Sew your inside and outside leg seams once more using the remaining half of your seam allowance, creating your French seams. If you're using a thicker denim, French seams might be a bit bulky, so flat fell seams might be a better option. And it seems like Luna approves of my new jeans. Now it's time to sew the crotch curve. My favourite way to do this is by having one trouser leg turned out the right way and one trouser leg inside out. I then place one leg inside the other, right sides facing, and pin all around the crotch curve, placing a horizontal pin where the base of my zip will be on the back seam so that I know when to stop stitching. I then sew from that horizontal pin all around the curve, stitching the crotch curve in place and joining the two legs of my jeans together. Now it's time to install the zip, and I went with an invisible zip this time to keep that back seam nice and flat. To construct the waistband, I begin by folding it in half lengthways, right sides together, sewing one end shut and sewing an underlap on the other side. Join the waistband to the raw top edge of your jeans by machine. Then you can fold the waistband to the inside of the garment before hand stitching it in place, concealing the raw edge inside. The final thing to do is hem our jeans. I decided to hem my jeans by slip stitching them closed. And now it's time for the reveal. there you have it, friends, how to create your very own 1950s jeans. I love these jeans and they've already become a staple in my wardrobe. I'm definitely going to make another pair too, because these jeans turned out a little on the big side. And this is because, having had the flu for a month, I've lost another bit of weight, and I didn't even realise until I started creating some items for myself on the channel, and they turned out a bit big. Yes, so here is a huge reminder to everyone out there who is creating patterns. Make sure to keep on top of your body measurements so that you can create new blocks as and when your body shape changes. But until next week, be kind to yourself, stay safe, friends. Bye bye.